Ladies and gentlemen.
Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview with a very peculiar-looking gentleman.
Scene 1, take 1.
Kia ora and welcome to TA News. I'm Shemaine Farquhar.
And I'm Aaron Thomas. In today's stories, a new crime wave is sweeping the country in a form of woolen graffiti. Scientists have invented a invisibility cloak. We help them find it and the latest in the weather around the country. But first, a story that will turn your world upside down.
If you think the world is getting more and more topsy-turvy, it turns out you're right. Builders in Germany have built an upside-down house, and before you think they may have read plans upside down, they did it on purpose. The wacky aboard was built as a tourist attraction, as well as being comment on the state of the world. The house is 23 feet tall and rests on the roof and has steel beams in the attic. Inside the house there was beds screwed into the ceiling, upside down wardrobes, an upside down kitchen, and even an upturned bathroom, though it's not known if anybody has tried to have a bath in it or go to the toilet. Normally a house like this would take 3 weeks to build, but this one took over 4 months because workers kept getting confused by the strange angles of the walls. Many tourists visit the house complaining of feeling sick and dizzy after just a few minutes inside. We now cross over to a reporter, Isabella, who is inside the house. How are you feeling, Isabella?
Thanks, Charmaine. I'm here with the owner of the house, Alicia, and I'm feeling very upside down. So what made you decide to build this upside down house?
Well, my favourite direction's always been upside down, so I thought it'd be nice to have an upside down house.
What comment do you feel when the house makes about the state of the world?
Well, if it was not upside down, we'd be on the other side of the world, wouldn't we?
What are some of the challenges of your house?
Well, I'd have to say the hardest part would be trying to bath.
How long do you plan to stay in the upside down house for?
Well, forever, really.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Isabella for TA News. Back to you, Charmaine, in the studio.
Thanks, Isabella. Even watching that makes me feel upside down. And now for a story that is truly out of sight. Look out, Harry Potter. The world of science is catching up to the world of magic. Scientists in Europe have created a 3D invisibility cloak, which can hide objects by bending the light waves. It has been found that the light can be controlled using special tiny crystals that make objects disappear. So far, scientists have made small objects such as coins disappear. But we hope that it won't be long before they are hiding cars, planes, and even people. People have always dreamed of making themselves invisible. One top scientist says the possibilities are endless, and we are very excited. However, since inventing the invisibility cloak, the scientists have been having trouble finding it. As soon as we put it down somewhere, it just disappears. The inventor of the cloak says it appears they are having trouble finding finding other things too, like their lunch, which they think may be under the cloak. What will the invention actually be used for? Hoping to see through the reasons behind the invisibility cloak. Here's our on the sport reporter Alana with more on the story.
Hello, I'm Alana, and with me here is Anae, one of the scientists behind the invisibility cloak. Hi Anae, and thanks for joining us today. What made you want to invent the invisibility cloak?
Well, the Harry Potter movies and movies like that, and also famous magicians for like magic tricks.
Can you show me how the invisibility cloak works?
Well, it's working right now.
Whoa, I thought I was supposed to be talking to two of you. What do you hope the cloak will be used for?
Well, again, magic tricks and that, maybe.
Well, stuff like movies. And, yeah, stuff like movies and...
Well, that makes things very clear. Thanks for joining us. Back to you in this Charmaine in the studio.
Thanks, Alana. And now, how's this for an interesting yarn? A new wave of graffiti crime is covering the country thanks to an underground gang known as the Midnight Knitters. These wool-waving criminals are covering trees, branches and lampposts with small jerseys and scarves under the cover of darkness. Police say the knitted activities of the gang are illegal because their woolly crimes are being done on public property without permission. The popularity of the woolen graffiti is growing more and more. Public objects are being wrapped up every night, but the problem is growing. Police say that if the Midnight Knitters aren't caught soon, every tree, lamppost and traffic light in the country will be warmly dressed against the cold. The problem is spinning out of control. They are close-knit groups of dyed-in wool criminals. We are stitching together a case, but is not seamless. There is no real pattern to the crimes. A police spokesman said today, so far the criminal knitters have escaped arrest and continue to pull the wool over the eyes of both public and police. We go now to a secret location with our investigative reporter Joshua, who has an exclusive interview with one of the Midnight Knitters gang.
Thanks, Charmaine. I'm Joshua, and joining me in this top secret location is a member of the Midnight Knitters gang. Hello, Logan, and thanks for joining us. What led you into this dark underworld of knitted graffiti?
Well, I thought that I should just be doing graffiti because people were telling me to.
Do you see yourself as a criminal?
No, I just think myself as something good.
Apart from trees, lampposts and traffic lights, what else would you like to graffiti with your woolens?
Well, I like to graffiti stuff like petrol stations, lots of buildings, vehicles, people.
When have you started this?
Well, I started this when I was a couple months ago when my grandson was wanting me to start doing tagging and stuff with him.
Thanks for your time, Logan, of the Midnight Knitters gang. We now go over to Declan with the weather update.
Thank you, Joshua, and good evening, New Zealand. Let's have a look at tomorrow's weather. Starting in the far north in Kaitaia, look out for some pretty flash flooding and raindrops as big as your head. Going going outside, wear a hat. Moving down to Auckland, there will be a mix of conditions and unfair conditions, but those are the conditions and you'll just have to accept them. There will be no weather at all for the Bay of Plenty. It's taking a short holiday, but is expected to be back for the weekend. In Napier and Hastings, the weather will sometimes be changeable and sometimes not. We have really no idea what will happen there. In the Taranaki, a mild depression that brings with it a very dull day with no highlights at all. It'll be overcast and gloomy all morning, but things should cheer up by the evening. So don't worry, everything will be fine. Wellington will have another capital day. There will be no wind at all, and the day conditions will be so pleasant. They'll actually be extreme. In the top of the South Island, Kaikoura can expect to have a good day, meeting friends for lunch, going for a swim and reading newspapers, but try to stay indoors as the weather will be just terrible. A real mix for Christchurch, which will have some unresponsible rainfall, some sensible wind, moderate thunderstorms and some very angry snow. And in the lower South Dunedin will be frosty, cold and unfriendly until late morning, when the sun will pop over for a visit. Everybody likes the sun. Joining link. That's all from me. Remember, if it's raining outside, that's the weather for you. Good night, New Zealand. Now it's back to the news desk with Charmaine and Aaron.
Thanks, Declan. Well, that's all the time we have for. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Until
Aaron.
then,
I'm Charmaine.
And I'm Aaron. For TA News, goodbye
and nohora.
Ladies and gentlemen. Roll the camera. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we are featuring an interview with a very peculiar-looking gentleman.
Scene 1, take 1.